I'm going to spend the next 20 minutes or so talking about the history of Jimmy John's and the opportunity that we have today and what we see going forward in the future. So we certainly want to bring a better sandwich to your market. Get started here. So a little history of Inspire Brands and how Jimmy John's came to be part of the portfolio. Inspire Brands actually started in February of 2018 when Arby's purchased Buffalo Wild Wings. Along with that purchase came Rusty Taco, 38 store street style taco concept that I'm also the director of franchising for, and that'll be the next webinar we do. In 2019 or in 2018, I'm sorry, Inspire acquired Sonic Drive-In, which has been a huge success during the last few years, and just has been an industry leader in the QSR sector, almost made for the climate that we've had to deal with in the last 2.5 years. October 19th, that's when I made my way to Inspire, when they purchased Jimmy John's, and I spent the previous 13 years in development at Jimmy John's. So that's been an exciting ride, and that's what we're going to spend the rest of the webinar talking about. And in 2020, Inspire purchased Dunkin' and Baskin-Robbins. And then in 2021, Inspire rolled out their first Super Bowl ad, and actually Jimmy John's was the beneficiary of that. And we're very excited to take part in that, and where we rolled out our new campaign involving Tony Bolonovich and a new sandwich as well. This is an eye chart. Just want to point out a few high-level things, but these are some facts about Inspire. You know, we quickly became the second largest restaurant chain in the U.S. behind McDonald's. You know, some key facts that might be interesting to some folks: the size of the brands, and you know, how many countries we're in. You know, the acquisition of Dunkin' and Baskin definitely made us a worldwide player. And then to the Jimmy John story. There actually is a Jimmy John. He was my boss for well over a decade. Currently no longer involved in the business, but started his first restaurant in 1983 in Charleston, Illinois, which is about 40 minutes south of where I'm sitting right now in our support center in Champaign, Illinois. He got to 10 stores of his own by 1993 and decided to start franchising. 94 opened the first franchise location. And a lot of people don't know this because we're, you know, heading up on getting close to 3,000 stores. But in 2001, we actually opened our 100th location. So a lot of growth in the last 20 years. 2010 reached store 1,000. I started in 2009. We had around 800 locations. So I've seen the last 2,000 stores get built. 2016 was a pretty cool milestone when you're in the franchising world. We actually got to number 1 in the Entrepreneur Franchise 500. In 2019, as I mentioned in the slide before, we partnered with Inspire Brands when they purchased us. And then a couple things that wouldn't be newsworthy for a lot of brands. But in 2019, we started our first loyalty program. Never had a loyalty program before, and it went live across the chain in December of 2019. And a few weeks ago, we hit 10 million members, which is unprecedented for a loyalty program in the QSR sector to hit 10 million that quickly. And in 2021, I'm sorry, combo meals and LTOs added to the menu. Everything's always been simple for the history of Jimmy John's. We never discount. We never had combo meals. We never had limited time offerings. So much opportunity and you know, things that we can do in the future to continue to grow the brand and the same store sales of the units. Still a lot of room to grow with around 2,700 units across 43 states. I don't know if there's actually 2,700 Jimmy John's discs on this map, but I think you get the point of where the concentration's at. Still a lot of opportunity for growth. The most being in California, the Southeast, and the Northeast, and also small towns across the middle of the country, which have been a huge success for us in the last 3 to 5 years. We kind of talked about some of Inspire's positioning, but as far as the Jimmy John's brand is concerned, a lot of similarities and why we were a good fit for an acquisition for Inspire. So with our consumer insight, our brand purpose, our brand essence, and our brand promise, where JJ's fuels your life by serving kick-ass sandwiches on your terms. Who we are, no soups, no hot foods, no salads, just sandwiches. So the simplicity of Jimmy John's is what attracts a lot of folks to the brand. And it may be prospects that don't have any restaurant experience. It's a good brand to dip your toe in the water, because if you have the right work ethic, the right attitude, we can certainly teach you how to make sandwiches. But even sophisticated operators, Jimmy John's is a nice addition to their portfolio, because they know the challenges of complicated menus, high food costs, and the challenges of having a lot of SKUs on your menu. The model is built for speed. That's our number one competitive advantages. Our internal goal in the store is to make sandwiches in 30 seconds or less when our customers order them at the register. How do we achieve that? A few things. Number one, we have assembly lines set up on our make lines. So we figured out a long time ago that the fastest way to make anything is on an assembly line, and Jimmy brought that to the sandwich world. So during the busy times, we'll have 3 people on the make lines, and that allows us to consistently make sandwiches in 30 seconds or less. We also have multiple make lines in every one of our restaurants. Every store across the chain has at least 2 make lines, and some stores have 3 or 4, which allows us during busy times when we have big catering orders to double or even triple our throughput by adding additional employees to those additional make lines. Also, how our menu is set up also allows us to execute a lot faster than our competition. All of our sandwiches have a name or a number, and they have a template or a recipe that goes with them. So you certainly can modify your sandwiches and have it the way that you'd like it, but you start with a template. So for example, my favorite sandwich is the number 9. It has 9 ingredients on it. So I don't have to walk the employee through the make line every single time and tell them what I want and tell them how I want it modified. You can order the original sandwich. For example, I'll tell them I want a number 9, no tomato, easy on the mayonnaise. And that's an exact number with Jimmy John's. Obviously, if I say no tomato, I'm going to get no tomato. But even down to the mayonnaise, everything's measured out and portioned. So we use what we call a mayonnaise portioner to measure out the mayonnaise. So when they cut the bread, they take, basically you can picture it, it's a mini ice cream scoop of mayonnaise, put that ball on there, and take a spatula and spread it in every square inch of the bread. We say so you don't get any dry bites on your sandwich. Somebody like myself that says they want easy or less mayo, it's a half a scoop. If somebody says they want extra, it's a scoop and a half. So that really keeps things consistent and takes the perception out of the mind of the employee and really keeps things moving. We've been delivering since the start of the brand. I think Jimmy started delivery as a means of survival because he had a B location and really took advantage of that. And for years, we didn't have a ton of competition for lunchtime delivery. Now, in the last 5 to 7 years, with third party getting a foothold in the market, it's been more challenging, but we feel like we do things a little bit more effectively than the rest. And we still use our drivers to deliver to our customers and control the process from start to finish. And that makes up about 37% of our current business. So it's a huge part in our core markets. We're known as the delivery guys for sure. Quality is our number one priority. So a lot of people on this call have probably went to a Jimmy John's in the past, got your sandwich in 30 seconds, grabbed your drink, and we're out of the store in a couple of minutes, and thought this was probably an easy business model. It does take a lot of work on the front end. A sign that we put up in some of our stores, we spend 6 hours of slicing and baking every single day, and it shows. There's about 3 to 4 hours of prep work every morning where we're slicing whole heads of shredding whole heads of lettuce, slicing whole cucumbers, whole tomatoes, the meat and cheese, making our homemade tuna salad, making our own homemade sauces. Everything fresh so you can get those 30-second sandwiches at lunch. We use all natural meats, and all our vegetables are sliced in-house every day. And we also don't serve any bread that's over 4 hours old, and we bake that starting in the morning throughout the whole day. Here's a snapshot of a current menu. It's very simple, Jimmy John's, as we spoke about before. 7 meats, 3 breads, and 1 cheese. In the corner left of this menu where it says make it a box lunch, this is where we typically would put our LTOs that we started running about 1.5 years ago. And those have been very popular with customers. So we're just coming into wrap season, which was the first time we'd ever done that last year in 2021. And we're excited to see what happens this year because fans have been clamoring to get them back on the menu. Here's a couple of the LTOs that we ran last year. Wraps, like I said, this added a lot of new items to the menu that we'd never had before. And we're definitely had customers seeking these out. And as soon as we pulled them from the menu last summer, we're asking when they were going to come back on. At the end of 2021, we rolled out the new beefy black and blue, which was a flavor profile that I've never seen since I've been at Jimmy John's. Very bold. And for people that love blue cheese, it was a home run. We do have top-notch real estate support, over 20 people in the field that support the brand. Here's some of the key characteristics that we look for in the trade areas. So we want heavy daytime traffic near businesses, districts, industrial parks, hospitals, and colleges. There can be exceptions to this, but it's kind of a no-brainer if you have an 8,000 daytime population within a 3-minute drive time and a 20,000 population within a 5-minute drive time. We are a sandwich brand, mostly a lunchtime item. We do a dinner business, but we do focus our store locations on where people are at and doing business during the day. Residential population greater than 25,000, median income greater than 40,000. If we're off of an interstate or something like that, we can certainly review smaller communities. In the Midwest, we do towns that are even as small as 7,500. And then what are we looking for in that individual trade area after we've identified that? We want a pad site, an end capped, or an out parcel with a drive-through is certainly preferred. Strong visibility. We don't want to be in that back of the strip center. We want people to see us at Main and Main when they're going for their daily needs during lunchtime. 800 to 1,800 square foot, 20 feet of frontage for great visibility. We want to be by the strong national and regional co-tenants, both food and retail. We don't want to create our own traffic pattern. So we want to go to Restaurant Row. When people jump in their car and go to lunch together, we want to be part of that decision. Outdoor seating strongly preferred. So, top-notch support for store design. We'll go over some current store designs that we have. Here's our latest store in our home market of Champaign, Illinois. It's a 900 square foot freestanding drive-through with only about 6 seats inside. It's off of Interstate 57 that runs through Illinois, and it opened just over 1 year ago and has done extremely well. Since this picture has been taken, we have some outdoor seating. This is in a green part of Champaign, and but it is close to 2 major clinics where they take advantage of those workers and being one of the only restaurants out off of this interstate exit. If you notice the red pickup doors in the front, it's a great way for customers to order ahead, grab their sandwich without even going into the restaurant. And these can be built on as small as 1/3 of an acre, and we only require a 3-car stack. So we can take advantage of opportunities that some of the other players in the QSR sector that need more room for a drive-through cannot. We still are always going to need to take advantage of inline locations. It always worries me when prospects or existing franchisees said that they would never do an inline location. We have very successful stores in downtown of big cities, on the main drag of college campuses, and in some locations that may be cost prohibitive to put up a freestanding drive-through. Here's our latest. I'm sorry, start that over. Here's a new type of store design that we just rolled out in the last couple months. It's the first modular building that's been built under Inspire, and it's Jimmy John's was able to take advantage of the first one, and it's just over a 650 square foot freestanding building with a double drive-through in Bartow, Florida. We have plans of building several more of these across the country. Also only requires a third of an acre, and we really brought some of the interior aspects of the store to the outside because there's no interior seating in here, so customers still get that same Jimmy John's feel as they're going through the drive-through or picking up their sandwich. Awards and rankings. A lot of people on this call have probably Googled best franchises to buy or why franchise with Jimmy John's, and hopefully you've seen us at or near the top in most of those rankings in overall franchises or certainly in the sandwich category. One of the most exciting things that I've ever got to do at Jimmy John's was last year at our national convention and getting to announce to all of our current franchisees that we're rolling out our first ever incentive with Jimmy John's. And when we do something at Jimmy John's, we do it big, we do it bold. And so it was very aggressive and something that's garnered a lot of attention from outside of the Jimmy John's family and certainly the existing franchisees taking advantage of it. So the main part of the incentive is getting all or most of your franchise fee credited back to you and reduce royalties for the first 3 years of operations. If you get a store open in 2022, giving people the opportunity to pay 0%, and then the second full year, 2%, and then the third year of operations, 4%, and then going to our normal 6% royalty for the remainder of the term. This incentive does go all the way through the end of 2025, so it's certainly not too late to jump on it. And give you an example, if you get a store open in 2023 or beyond to 25, you pay 1% for the first year, 2% for the second year, 4% for the third year, and you get your franchise fee credited back to you as well if you open on the terms and on the times that we agreed upon in the development schedule. A little kicker that we put in there: if you beat the contract that we agreed upon by 3 months or more, we'll give you 6 months of 0% royalty. Then you can jump on the current incentive. So even more reason to get started and get these stores open as fast as possible. Who's ready to roll with Jimmy John's? Please visit ownajimmyjohns.com and fill out your information, and myself or one of my teammates will be contacting you ASAP.